We all pray in unity for the same thing. Prismatic pause without cause. Bass from those high definition speakers sitting in the corner on each side of the room, giving up the boom, boom, boom to our zoom, zoom, zoom. The smell of an L hit while walking by, but the music gets me high. Sanctified like an old lady in church. We get happy. We stomp our feet. We clap our hands. We shout. We cry. We dance. And we say, "Sweet Lord, speak to me. Speak to me, speak to me, speak to me," because we love house music. And on this night, it brings us together like a family reunion every week. We eat, we drink, we laugh, we play, we speak. So for all you hip hoppers, you doo-woppers, name droppers, you bill poppers, come into our house to get deep. What? To get deep. I get deep, I get deep, I get deep, I get deeper into this thing. The deeper I go, the more knowledge I know what to sing, what to bring. Well, I get deep, I get deep, I get deep, I get deeper, deeper, deeper into the vibe. What chilling in the corner at the shelter all by myself, checking it out. I'm not dancing no more, but why? Why? What?
Meu Brasil brasileiro, meu mulato insoneiro, vou cantar-te nos meus versos. O Brasil é samba que dá bamboleio que vai vingar. O Brasil do meu amor, terra de Nosso Senhor. Brasil, pra mim, pra mim, pra mim. Cortina do passado, tira a mãe preta do cerrado, mata o rei Congo no congado. Brasil, pra mim, pra mim, pra mim. Brasil, pra mim, pra mim, pra mim.
Gather round on a Thursday night in the Metaverse, feeling hype. Matthew and Rizzle, they're on the mic. Welcome to the WIP, hold on tight, tight. Lightning strikes, the energy's high. WIP fam in the virtual sky. New speakers, new stories, don't be shy. Crypto knowledge, we're in the know, oh my. WIP fam, we break virtual worlds. Feel thunder as the lightning twirls. Paradox behind the lens, making moves. Ready on the audio, no time to lose. Show's got the afties, let the good times cruise. Show's got the afties, let the good times cruise.
Boom, there we go. Quick mic check. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
There we go. What up, everyone? It's Matthew, aka Nifty Time. And to say I'm excited for this week's WIP is an absolute understatement. I have two amazing individuals lined up to give updates and take us on a pretty interesting virtual experience. We got Jake in the house, who's going to be talking about base colors. For everyone listening right now, there's a little bit like of a teaser heads up, like pre-alpha leak. Go check out basecolors.com. Try to figure out like a hex code of a color that you really vibe with, and just take note of that. We'll follow up with that in a bit for a nice little surprise. But in addition to Jake, we have the legend Joy back in the house. He's going to be doing a little bit of VR sculpting with us, and we have a lot of his sculptures actually installed in Hyperfy. If you're not in there, make sure you jump into hyperfy.io/WIP. We're going to look at some of his art, and then he's going to be sculpting live with us. Really excited for that. Real quick, before I shut my mouth up, so we can move on and get to these exciting presenters. Quick show. Rizzo and I are back recording after a long summer vacation. Go check it out if you want to support the Matthew and Rizzo show. Been a free edition. Appreciate that. And with that, I'm going to pass the mic to Rizzo to get the hype train rolling for this week's WIP.
Yo, thank you, man. Super excited for this one. Joy hasn't been on the WIP for so long that Matt and I were talking about it on the podcast. It was like late 2020. And I was just thinking as we were like listening to the theme song and staring at this pack of French fries that Joy's wearing in Hyperfy, we've like come quite the long way since then. So a couple housekeeping things. If you're in Hyperfy, we're sort of set up for this experience in here. So while you're hearing from Jake and everything that's going on with him, if you look above you in Hyperfy, there's a whole bunch of Joy bubblegum GLBs up there, and I turned collision on. So if you tap double space, you can fly up to the bubblegum and get yourself a nice seat in front of the big screen where we'll be live streaming the 3D sculpting and everything in world. So, you know, it's like a Joy like 3D sculpting movie theater type experience going on here. It is possible once we get the live stream going, you'll have to refresh, but it should save your spot on the seat once you get up there and everything. So just keep that in mind. This is one of these WIPs where we got a lot of things going on. We got Joy live streaming on his end, Dragonate porting it on our end, shoving it into the metaverse, and you know, we're getting pretty good at this. I think we can pull it off. So if you would like to dance while you're in Hyperfy, you can type /dance into the chat box, and that'll make you dance. And just a reminder, if you want to fly up to the seats, double tap spacebar, and that'll get you around in there. If you're listening in Discord, we are also in the general channel. That's where a lot of links will be dropped, and the banter will be going on. If you have a question for Jake or Joy as they're doing their thing out here, you can tag show in the chat box at SHO, and he will relay them to our presenters. So we will have some time for Q&A for both of our speakers this week. So let's see. Any more housekeeping things? Rizzlefest is on. Excited to have Paradox into the mix. He scooped a ticket yesterday. So if you are interested in that, that's coming up in October at the camp in Tennessee. So hit me up for details on that. I won't take too much of your time with that. I will show you our links. We got the link tree. We got the Warpcast channel. We got DGen to throw around if you post some stuff to it. I posted Paradox's most recent mashup from last week on the YouTube channel, so check all those things out. We've also got Brookhawk the Legend giving away a Joy NFT this week to someone here in world, and I will give you more details on that to come. So I won't overload you right now, but I'll just give you a preview of the NFT that Brookhawk's putting up. So stay tuned for that. I'll let you know how to get that when we pass the mic over to Joy. As always, make sure you sign the guest book. Those who signed it last week got a sick vulture from Fabiano and Patrizia. Matt is saying hint, sign the guest book. If Matt gives hints, you know what to do. Just do the thing. But you're also getting a giveaway from Fabiano and Patrizia, which is a given, not a hint. And then whatever Matt is talking about, you should probably just do it for that reason too. Let's see. Anything else major going on before we pass the mic? I think that's just about everything. We're going to hear from Jake. We're going to hear from Joy. We're going to take some Q&A. We're going to have a dope group shot in World with Paradox. Stick around for the afties with show after we wrap the event, and it's going to be a fun one today. So that's about everything. In case you don't know, we're like Metaverse Public Broadcasting. If you heard me like 10 seconds ago, we've been doing this for years. I had Joy on very early on. featuring brilliant creators in Web3. If you like what we do and you donate to the WIPmeetup.eth, it gets chopped up amongst our crew via 0x splits. If you want to donate a ton of money or like something awesome to us, we'll take that too. Hit up Matt and I for details, and we'll do something awesome for you in World all the time and make you a legend. If you would also like to be like Brookhawk or like Ballistic Banana last week, giving out the Hyperfi parcel and the Joy NFT. We love free stuff. Our audience loves free stuff. Feel free to hit us up, and we will appreciate you and that, just like what Brookhawk's doing this week. So big shout out and much love to Brookhawk for putting up a free NFT. Right on theme today. And I think that is everything. Shout out to the crew who makes this happen week in and week out. Foxy Yoga, Easy, Paradox Show, Dragonate, Conwolf the Stowaway, Brookhawk the Chef, Fabiano, Patricia, Fractilians, Johan, Matt, Metageist. Thank you all so much. I will shut my mouth and keep this on time. And I think we're going to pass the mic right over to Jake for some updates.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Jake here.
Hey, we did it. Right? Yeah, man. Welcome.
Thank you. This is sick what you guys have going on in here. It's great to be a part of it.
Dude, appreciate you hopping on. And Matt's been talking a lot about the project. He brought it up on the podcast yesterday, so would love to hear what you've been cooking on.
Yeah, so I can give a quick intro to the project. It's called Base Colors. Basically, it is an NFT collection for every color on the internet. So you guys might have like picked colors for certain designs or, changing elements on the internet or whatever you might be doing. And you might be familiar with like the color picker. There's like sort of a spectrum. You can like drag the cursor around. There we go. Paradox is writing in the chat. He likes FEEA01. So you can go look that up on basecolors.com. And, you can see if that color is available. The thing is, every color is a one of one. So, if you got colors that you really love, you got to kind of get to them early or else they're going to be taken. Another interesting element is that every color gets a name. So once you mint a color, you're the only one who can own that color, and then you can name it any available name, and it functions similarly to like ENS or domain names or Twitter handles or whatever you want to think about, where, there's no duplicate names. So for example, the first color minted was, I've been using a blue for my podcast and my blog and everything like that. Basically everything I've done online, my profile picture and everything for several years. And, the hex code for the blue is like the most fundamental blue. It's #0000FF. And the way that breaks down, not to get into too much detail, but it's based on the RGB color model. That stands for red, green, blue. So the first 2 digits of the 6-digit hex code represent the red, and the second 2 represent the green, and the third 2 represent the blue. And basically by, messing around with those different numbers, you get all these different results. And so 0000FF is like no red, no green, maximum blue. And that was the first color minted in the collection. I minted it myself, and then I named it blue. So like no one else can get that exact color or that exact name. So I think it's pretty cool. It's been an idea that I've been kind of thinking about for probably 3 years, like right around the time like NFTs kind of blew up for the first time in like 2021, and finally got around to building it. And since starting, I thought it was going to be like a little weekend project or something, and then I just dove headfirst all the way in, and I've been like kind of obsessively building for I guess May, June, July, 3 months now. We launched a month ago. It's like 2 months pre-launch, another month since launch. And we got a bunch of other stuff we're working on. So excited to be in here talking to you guys about it, and loving the hype in the Discord right now. Looks like a bunch of you guys got colors that you want. And Ballistic Banana just went and minted one and named it Ballistic Banana. And it looks exactly like what I would expect Ballistic Banana to look like. So that's a good example right there. And yeah, happy to talk about whatever and answer any questions or do whatever, but great to be here again.
Yeah. And it seems like folks like Paradox, MJ Mimbao, Ballistic have already been like sharing their favorite colors and hex codes there. So anyone else listening right now, go to basecolors.com, check and see what colors are available, drop the hex codes in Discord. I'm keeping a record of these. We're going to gift y'all your colors. So you don't need to buy, we're going to gift them for you. And there's a bit of tech under the hood of Base Colors that Jake and I were talking about that makes this really, really approachable, not just for crypto natives, but for people that are not in the space. So Jake, I don't know if you want to talk about the smart wallet integration, link drops, or anything like that.
Yeah.
How approachable this is in social, you've kind of designed base colors.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for the cue. That's actually an important part that I didn't include in the intro. So when we launched, it was by colors and name colors, and the whole thing from the get has been, we want to make this something that's accessible to anyone, not just crypto natives. So it's because it's colors, right? It's not like mutant apes or something, which like a certain number of people are gonna like, but a lot of people are like, what's that? Colors, like everyone can kind of get behind. Everyone like has a color that they like, and especially when you name it, like they're just pretty universal in their appeal. And so, but it's no use if you have something that's universally appealing, but only crypto natives are able to access it because of the UX, and it's high friction, and it's hard to connect the wallet and everything like that. It's it makes it very difficult. So we wanted to make it as accessible as possible. Unfortunately, with Base and with Coinbase Smart Wallet just coming out about a month ago, or maybe a month and a half at this point, I felt like we were able to do that in a pretty strong way that honestly I haven't seen a whole lot of other crypto projects make something this easy to like sort of create your first wallet, mint your first NFT, do an on-chain action besides that, which is naming the NFT that's named on-chain. You can see it as a trait on OpenSea once you change the name. And then the third element that we added beyond buying and naming, which, Nifty Time was alluding to, is gifting. So we added a gift button, I think last week. This was like the first big post-launch ship. And basically you can click the gift button. Basically select any of your colors, click the gift button, and then you can send it directly to an ETH address or an ENS name, the way that people are accustomed to sending things. And that's super easy. You just type the address and press send and you're done. But there's a slightly, more involved thing that you can do to gift it that creates a less involved way to accept, like a super low friction way for anyone to be able to get their first color. And basically what you do is you just generate a link. And we're using link drop, which Nifty Time told me like you guys had sort of experimented with like going back like years ago, which is crazy because I didn't even know link drop was around years ago. But link drop recently sort of got in the news a little bit for being like sort of the behind the scenes tech for Coinbase wallets send crypto by text feature. And so I asked Coinbase, can you do that with NFTs? And they were like, not yet. And I was like, all right, well, who actually built this? And I found link drop. And then I asked them, like, can we do this with NFTs? And they were like, well, not yet. But like, honestly, it's like very close. Like if we have a little bit of dev resources, you can kind of take it over the line, and we're more than happy for you to do that. So they basically gave us what they had to integrate, and then we did a little bit of dev work to make it work for NFTs as opposed to just like ERC20s or USDC or whatever. And now you can like super easily create a link, send someone a gift link, and all they have to do is click it. And if they have a wallet, they just click accept, and it's already accepted and done. You don't even have to sign or anything. And if you don't have a wallet, it brings you through that super seamless Coinbase Smart Wallet setup flow, where basically, I don't know if anyone here has set up smart wallets yet. Like honestly, for crypto natives, like there's not a huge incentive to like go get another wallet, but it's a super slick onboarding flow that's like the first wallet creation flow that I feel comfortable sending to friends who have never done anything in crypto before. You basically click create a wallet. It uses your Face ID, like from your iPhone that you're accustomed to using all the time, and automatically like you're good to go with a wallet. Like you don't have a seed phrase or anything like that. So it's all it's hard to explain in words. It's actually like everything I'm saying is making it sound harder than it actually is. Like if you go try sending a gift link, or when we send them out later to receive a gift link, like you'll see how easy it is. And I think it's just a super easy way for people to like I said, create their first wallet, get their first NFT, do their first on-chain activities. And from there, hopefully, as you guys all know, like once you take a step into crypto, it's easy to kind of go down the rabbit hole. So the idea is we can onboard a lot of people on chain with this.
I love that. And you've already brought a lot of folks into the color ecosystem, like over 10,000 unique holders, which is crazy to see. And in addition to that link drop kind of full circle moment, like another aspect of this project that kind of like sang to me was for folks that like go back to beta.cent.co days when we had the scent colors. Everyone, like this is the same application that we wanted to have like our unique hex color as our identity. The only difference is you actually tokenized it. Scent Days was not tokenized there. So I have that kind of like sentimental attachment with this project, which is super cool. Everyone else, drop those hex codes. But if there's any questions here, I'm going to ask Show to hit you in the face with some questions, and we can go from there.
Hey y'all, how's my audio?
5x5.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Hey man, so in regards to legalities with colors, in the real world, the company Pantone owns all the colors. Do you foresee any kind of issues in the future?
Yeah, I'm not sure what Pantone's specific like the legalities are around Pantone, but I can tell you like they own like if to the extent that they own any colors, which I'm not sure they do, like they've definitely like, you know, have a bunch of colors that they've like printed on the Pantone sort of like brand imagery and like named them as they want and stuff like that. They do color of the year and everything like that. But that's like a very small fraction. I'm not sure how many exactly, I could look it up, but like how many Pantone colors are there? There's 2,000, this is old data, it's as of like 2021, but I doubt it's changed too much. There's 2,161 colors in Pantone. At least that's what it looks like. It's somewhere between like 2,000 and 3,000, I think. And I'm talking about like a fundamentally different system. So like someone, if they wanted to, I mean, this would probably not be that like kosher, like probably Pantone would have to do this, but they could create an NFT collection of every Pantone color. And like, that would be cool. But that's different from what we're doing here. Like our collection is based on this RGB model, like I said, which is, you know, totally separate from the Pantone collection. And this is like, if you're coding and you want to make certain elements on your website, like certain colors, it reads from the hex code, like using the RGB color model. Like this color model is pretty much universally used for any digital displays. And there's, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but there's 16,777,216 colors. So like, you know, categorically different from Pantone, like orders of magnitude in terms of the quantity. And what's cool, at least from my perspective, is like this whole thing started from this idea of like, what if there was a collection for every color on the internet and you could only have, you know, everyone was a one of one. And then I was like, okay, well, like how many colors are there? And I looked this up and like found this out. And that right away, like sort of introduced another interesting element of like, okay, NFT collections aren't really like, there's not other NFT collections with like 16 million as the supply, right? The closest existing thing that I can find that's like a notable thing is ENS names, which most people don't really think of as NFT collection anyway. But there's like a few million ENS names that are available. And I think, you know, the potential is probably infinite if people just keep making names or whatever. But most collections, as you guys know, are like, you know, 10,000 pieces, 5,000 or 1,000 pieces, something like that. And so what happens, like what fundamentally changes when you change the supply from like 10,000 to 16 million? I mean, the first thing is that you wouldn't expect at least the floor of these NFTs to be any like super large value. It's not going to be like a pudgy penguin selling for tens of thousands of dollars or whatever. It's going to be, even if it's super successful, you would still think that the floor would be pretty low because there's a supply of 16 million. So like from that initial sort of criteria or like those initial assumptions, like all of these interesting things have sort of like evolved out of it. And yeah, so I don't know if that answers your question on the legality bit, but speaks a bit to like the supply as well. And some of the, you know, that influenced like the mint price that we made and other things like that.
Yes, it does. And very quickly, Easy in Crypto would like to know, will there be gradients or patterns introduced in addition to drips of colors as NFT fragments, kind of like co-ownership of colors?
I'm not sure if I understand exactly what you mean, but as like one example, maybe this helps answer a little bit. Like I'm hopeful that people will build using base colors as sort of like a primitive. And so like there's a few different things you could think about there. Like one is, you know, someone could say, I want to create an NFT collection with like, you know, palettes. So instead of like one color, you know, owning one color and naming one color, you might be able to like mint a palette, and it might like, you might be able to select different base colors from base colors that you own to include in this palette, and then you can mint the palette or something like that. Another example could be, this is actually, you know, a little bit of alpha for you guys, but I think tomorrow we should be launching, we're not like leading on it, but I've been helping the guy who's sort of building it. He's building a collection called Color Punks. That's going to be a supply of 1,000 punks, like sort of, you know, similar to the original CryptoPunks collection, but they get minted in black and white, and you can color them in and sort of like save them and sort of modify the image, and you can only use the base colors that you own to color them in. So stuff like that's pretty interesting on like the NFT collection side, using base colors. And then separately from that, you could imagine certain like crypto apps allowing you to customize the interface that you're using, or like customize your profile or something using base colors. So like a simple example would be, you know, Farcaster has sort of like this primary color of purple. What if they gave you the option to change that purple to like any of your base colors, just to make your app experiences more, you know, pleasant for you, for like using colors that you enjoy? Like I know I would love to set Farcaster to like my blue that I like, instead of purple, and that would just be like nice for me. And then there's also like public facing profiles where maybe you can change the colors as well. So stuff like that in terms of like building with base colors. But I think the core collection will pretty much stay what it is. We don't expect, you know, we looked into, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the 404 standard, which allows people to like fractionalize NFTs. We looked into that a little bit in advance, but since there's 16 million, we didn't really feel the need to do that. I think, you know, there's plenty for everyone to get one. And so I think it's probably going to remain for the core collection, like one owner per color.
We love the alpha. Thank you for sharing that, dude. I think we got through all the questions. I recorded everyone's hex code that you shared. I'll be dropping out via Discord DM the link to your codes once I claim them. I'll do that while Joy is going through his thing. And also, this is like not the point of bringing Jake on, but in addition to base colors, Jake has like one of the most epic podcasts running, in my personal opinion. Pot of Jake. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. He's had some absolutely insane guests on, from Vitalik to Kevin Kelly, Brian Armstrong, People Pleaser, some of like my favorite episodes. Dude is persistent as hell. I love everything that he's been doing in this space, and check it out. And Jake, dude, just thank you so much for joining us today and telling us all about base colors.
Thank you guys. This is a real pleasure. You guys got a sweet crew here, and I've always, as you know, we were talking about it before, but I've always wanted to do my podcast in an environment like this, and this is kind of like lighting a fire under me. Like I'm focused on base colors right now and just keeping the podcast business as usual, but I really want to get going in like an environment like this. This is so sick that we're all in here doing the voice by Discord. It all just works, and you guys, you know, like I said, it's a sweet crew here. So hopeful to build something like that around my podcast as well at some point.
Let's go. And now for the Metaverse activation. We got Joy in the house. So Joy, if you're with us, unmute, introduce yourself or reintroduce yourself.
let me jump in real quick, man, just to get people in world in the right spot here and make sure we're all lined up. So if you join late and you're listening to us in Discord, make sure you're in world and Hyperfy. We can drop a link for you, and double tap spacebar to fly up to some of these bubblegum seats here. If you've been in world and you don't see the Twitch feed live, it should be. So refresh wherever you're at, and you should get a live stream going right now. And like I was saying earlier, Brookhawk's putting up a Joy NFT. So at any point in time, if you take a selfie of yourself watching Joy doing his live sculpting and doing his thing, post it on Twitter, tag Joy, tag the WIP, and that'll enter you into the raffle to win Brookhawk's NFT from Joy himself. So yeah, easy, yeah, man. The stream should be live also on the WIP channel or on Twitch or something. We'll find it for you, but it's actually coming in pretty clear in world. I can do some like also live streaming of my stream in Discord for those who can't get in world. So we'll get that going as well. So a little housekeeping, but want to make sure the table is set for Joy, who's already got some things going. So I will pass the mic over to him. Welcome, dude.
Hey, well, I almost said welcome. Thanks for having me. I'm like, I feel like I'm in three different parts of the metaverse at the same time. I'm like, I think I'm just floating as like French fries. So, and then I might be on the screen. Am I going? Is that what you said? That's excellent. But yeah, thank you all
Yeah,
for
dude, we're
having me.
live. We're watching you in world.
Oh shoot! Right on. I started over my sculpt because I was doing a practice sculpt. I don't know what it was. It was like a turkey leg and a mouth. I was started just trying to do a bunch of different colored things because I was thinking about that. How many colors did he say there were in the hex code? I don't know. I kind of lost my mind on the color thing, and I really like that idea of like taking a color around with you that you want to use. This is really cool. But yeah, what are we sculpting here today? Does anybody have any requests? I think I want to do a whole. So I guess I should back up a little bit. Usually I sculpt everything in medium, and today I'm going to sculpt in Modeler by Adobe. And I've been learning Modeler, so I'm not the best at it, and so it actually makes the results really fun. And so it's just be kind of like I don't know. I think it'd be really cool if maybe the first Joy, because every Joy's been made in medium, and I started thinking it'd be really cool if the first Joy was from the Life Sculpt was made all together, and we made it in Modeler. So this might be like the first Joy in Modeler, like public. I don't know. Yeah, can I get some requests, some ideas?
This is super cool. Breaking protocol a little. It's easy. I just wanted to come and say hi. So
Hi,
awesome to
Easy.
have you back.
It's great to hear your voice.
Oh man, I just gotta say, for anybody that hasn't had the opportunity to meet Joy in person, to see him work, amazing hugs and just the most like epic, joyous, ambient environment. As far as suggestions, did you say something about a chicken leg or something before? Maybe
Yeah, I was just sculpting a chicken leg on a different.
whipped chicken.
Yeah. Is that what you want to see? A chicken?
I mean, it's just a good start. I don't know. That chicken leg got stuck in my head. So I don't know. Yeah, let's see what people are saying maybe in the chat.
It looks like we got like a Giga Chad, a Turbo Toad, a frog, man bear pig. There's a lot of suggestions coming through here. Banana.
Well, let's make it all. We got a chicken body.
There's like a Doge, Pepe, like all the memes basically.
It's got to be the memes. I like that everybody wants a Pepe.
Megatron meme mashup, like chicken Pepe holding a banana. This could get wild.
Yeah.
It's crazy how fast already this is coming together, like madness. You are a quick sculptor, but I know you've had a bit of practice.
Yeah, a little bit. Wait, since it's gonna be like a chicken head, but it needs to be everything. So I'm gonna do the Pepe. Beefy. I'm gonna do it on your way.
Joy, give us some, if you don't mind, man, some process talk while you're doing here. Like, how are you even like when you're designing things? You know, where do you even begin with stuff like this? Like, okay, you're making a chicken, but like, where does one even begin or know to begin when making a chicken, holding a banana, or like, you know, whatever's going on here?
Yeah. I just start to think of kind of the general shapes and start to kind of block it out. I have a weird tendency to jump all over the page though. So typically you just kind of block out the main big shapes and maybe carve into it. but since I'm working like with my hands in virtual reality, it's easy to just adjust as I go. So I don't know, my mind just kind of goes into to just do it, to just start making something and see what happens. So I started making like a Pepe, but now I'm starting to become like an alligator. I don't know.
Pepigator. As long as it's got giant googly eyes, I know Rizzo will be pleased. I break protocol a little bit, but I'm so excited to have Joy here. I had a question. Have you ever sculpted like clay or other materials with your hands? And kind of, if you have, like, how wildly different is that from a virtual medium?
Yeah. It feels, yeah, I basically grew up, my dad sculpts, and so I spent a lot of time as a child sculpting. So I've always sculpted. I always had like clay and wax and different things around. And I had a hard time getting into 3D tools because I feel like you kind of are thinking more like in a flat way, like in Cinema 4D or in Adobe. And it wasn't until I got into virtual reality and I could work with my hands that it like made sense to me. So yeah, and like, I guess because we're like spiritual beings having like a physical experience. And so like you get really used to using your hands and your body to like create. And then to go into like a flat screen gets like very difficult to like switch kind of your whole context. So I just find it like really natural and easy to sculpt this way, like by hand. I don't know if that answers your question, but kind of like where my thinking is on it.
Yeah, no, totally. It's just always fascinating, asking how people approach their different mediums. Like for me, I've always been blown away if I watch somebody draw. And like a real talented artist, sometimes they start with the most kind of abstract parts, and you're like, what is that? What is that? And then it all comes together in your mind when, like, a part of the face comes out or something like that. Whereas I, as a doodler, will have to start with like the main focus. So it's just interesting to see how people deal with that and the negative space. It's fascinating to watch you work.
Thank you. Yeah, it's all. I'm laughing at these googly eyes. Yeah, it all kind of. It's just different for how each different person is. Each artist, I guess, is trained with like a different background. I was always like in art school. I was always like, they're always like, you do things in a weird way. They're like, you go like and you like you go to draw a drawing of like a smiley face. You might like draw like a quarter of the head and then like start drawing the lips and then like jump to the teeth. So I don't know. I always just kind of just jumped around the page, and where somebody else might draw in like a real steady manner and like really have like a methodology behind it. It's all different. It's also like all interesting in the time of like AI. Like if we just type this in an AI, we could probably make it like a million times faster now. So it's just everything and everyone draws different. I guess we're all just like different programs running our like way of doing it.
While Easy is violating protocol by not directing his questions at show. No, I'm just giving you a hard time, Easy. It's all love. Some questions have been rolling in, maybe mostly from me, but I have some questions for Joy. So this is sort of like a loose format here. So throw your questions at show while Joy's sculpting here. Dude, I'm a sucker for googly eyes, so this is like, hitting for me. But yeah, feel free to throw some questions at show while we're watching here. And this is probably what Easy's saying too. You say chicken, I say chicken. Easy says chicken, but like this is a chicken, man. Throw it over to show.
Hey man, what's going on? Long time no see.
Hey, show. How are you?
Good, good. All right, so I've got a couple of questions here. Rizzo would like to know, how have the tools you've used evolved over the years?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Yeah, it's almost getting close to like 10 years of working in virtual reality as like a tool. And it sometimes feels like it's going backwards, like it's getting worse, like more, like sometimes more often than not. And then something will come out and it's like a piece of it's really good. And then like you kind of like feels like a big puzzle and then it's like, it's really weird because if I was working just in clay and I got really good at clay, it's like I can always just like go dig more clay out of the earth. Maybe not forever, but there's just like always almost like a solution for clay, right? At least for my entire lifetime, there would be. But like I started sculpting in Adobe Medium. Well, actually, I started in Google Tilt Brush, but then I switched over to Adobe Medium, and at first it was like evolving really rapidly, and then it kind of slowed down, and then it was before Adobe bought it. Then Adobe bought it, and it basically has never changed. But then they started developing a new program called Modeler, and it was almost like drastically different than Medium. And they stopped developing Medium, but they just kind of give it away for free. It almost like a zombie of a program, and it like every time you run it on your computer runs all super hot. It just gets like completely over like almost impossible to use. So then I kind of had to. I'm now learning Modeler, and I'm in the process of that, which then kind of takes a lot of time out of your creative process to like learn a whole new software or like learn a new way of doing it. But then with that, sometimes there's like better things that come out of it, like in the long run. So it's like I don't know. It's like the Beatles thing of like it's getting better all the time. So it's like I don't know. Sometimes things feel like they're getting worse, but like overall they're getting better. So I feel like all the tools are getting much better. And on the hardware side of tools, like Apple Vision Pro came out, and then I was like, oh, this will be everything. But then it turns out to be kind of like a way to just use screens inside of like a 3D environment. But then there's some 3D things that start to come out, and then from that, it's like, oh, actually, for me personally, I was like, I really like the way the head strap functions and feels. So I just took it off of the Vision Pro and I put it onto the back of the Quest 3. And so like that's a huge jump in like quality of life with the tool. So it's just yeah, I don't know. It's like two steps forward, one step back usually, but overall I like the direction all the tools are evolving, and it's with like tools like AI now, I think some of this stuff may slow down of like building a virtual sculpting tool where you could almost just sculpt it by talking, like sculpt things with your mind. So maybe it's a lost art eventually. I don't know. I guess it's become part of my art practice to just explore all the different tools and see where it takes the work.
That's cool. Rizzo would also like to know, what are some of your favorite types of things to create?
I like to create creatures. I think that's my most favorite. It might be because my dad's practice was making wildlife art. And so I guess I drew like a lot of animals and deer and different stuff as a kid. So yeah, I like to make creatures and characters. Part of the reason I make characters is because I think it's more a commentary on modern life than like almost than like a picture of a person. We all know like characters from like games, and then now like with Web3 like PFPs and different characters that way. So yeah, I like to make characters. I think it's because I really love people, so I like to make I basically like to draw them in character form.
That's cool. Easy and Crypto would like to know, The AI must be getting crazy lately. Have you checked out the more recent 3D AI tools? Not that you need it, he says.
I love that. Yeah, actually, I have explored a lot with the AI tools. So when I made scramblers, scramblers were a bunch of eggs, and kind of my secret kind of I always kind of have like a secret meaning or concept what the art means to me, basically. Maybe like my artist statement about the work. But when I made scramblers, they were just a bunch of eggs, and I was kind of just making commentary on how different projects were hatching eggs, and I thought it was fascinating if like there were all kinds of eggs all over JoyWorld, so just like made eggs. Um, but part of the thing that I did with that was I said it would be revealed instantly, so it's a picture of a fake egg, like just a picture of a video clip of like eggs flipping by, and then it was revealed, oh, they're just eggs. And then I never said for like a year what they would become, but then in that time, I was experimenting with what they would become, and I was trying out different things. And it's when a lot of the AI tools and stuff are coming up. So I actually did mess around with one and just generating. I was just going to generate all of the characters using AI. But after just tons and tons of commands and inputs and different things, I made a lot of really interesting things, which I think evolved the way I look at things. But I ended up then just hand sculpting all of them, which was being incredibly difficult. Maybe I should have used the AI tool and still would have had a similar result, or maybe it doesn't matter in the long run which way I would have used it. So I don't know. I'm still experimenting a lot with it.
Yeah. MJ Mumbo would like to know, I would like to have a signature on my marble cards. Would you join the MC artist signatures?
I don't know what the MC artist signatures is. Can you explain to me more?
Uh, there's a collection of artists who provide signatures via marble cards and the community. Would you be interested in supplying some signatures?
Yeah, maybe send it to me. That sounds fun.
Cool. We got we got we got a question from Jake. Jake would like to know, what's your favorite creature you've ever created?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think my favorite creature I created maybe Joyrex. It's like a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it's kind of based. It's a little bit like Jurassic Park vibes, and a little bit like Dino Riders. And then there's a mini version of me riding it. I really like when I make a character that has me in it, like a self portrait, I guess, because I don't know, I love me. I guess.
Easy in Crypto would like to know, are there any recommendations for 3D AI programs to try?
I'll have to go look up the ones I use. I used a bunch of them. And the name's not popping up in my head. I'll try and remember it and go share that. Or just send me a note right now and be all, hey, share that. So my hands are tied up.
That's cool. And lastly, for me, I think one of the first questions I ever asked, I ever threw your way years ago was something about your favorite sandwich or snack or something like that. So, what's your favorite sandwich or snack, if you remember?
Oh man. I think I might have said pizza before. And I would say, oh, I think now water. I like water that's been charged by the sun. Actually, candy, but I don't want to admit it.
Ballistic dropped the link to the one that you were referring to in the chat box here. this is coming along incredibly, Joy.
What would you like
Matt,
to see next? Forgot all the suggestions. My head is everywhere.
Let's drop some suggestions in the chat box, y'all. We still got a few minutes. Let's get something going with this chicken pepe thing with the amazing eyeballs. Banana. So Ballistic Banana's in the audience here, man, and I was saying banana. Easy's just throwing banana, and obviously this goes with like your yellow theme. And Ballistic Banana is just such a legend who's been here every week. So if we could like incorporate a banana, specifically a ballistic banana, whatever that is to you, that might be low hanging fruit. Oh, I just had to throw that joke out there, you know.
I feel like banana tail, like a tail, like that's literally low hanging fruit on this this creation right now.
I like that. Let's do that.
Joy, I'm also violating protocol since this is a little bit of a loose whip, but this is cool, dude. What's like? What kind of time do you put into this, like on a regular basis? Like, what's your like? You know, do you just sort of like work as you're inspired to, or do you like sit down in the studio for a certain amount of time each day, or what's your workflow like?
Yeah, I try and spend a certain amount of time each day sculpting in virtual reality. But it's a lot of times it's just as much as I can. What I like to do is try and be like, just go in for 15 minutes or something, you know, and then you end up just spending forever doing it. I would honestly do this all day if I could, but I end up getting quite, like, you can get quite sick when you're in virtual reality a lot, you know? So I don't do it as much, like as many hours as I would like to, because I have to stop myself and kind of just like watch for different signs. I think that, man, and then the other part is that I have to do a significant amount of work inside of Cinema D doing posts, like kind of post processing it, basically. And so I don't know. It's basically something I work on pretty much all day. Over the past, like the last year, so JoyWorld, I've been working on all this stuff for like 6 years now, and more time kind of leading up to it. But for like the past year, I kind of started experimenting a lot, just like working in the physical and creating physical artwork. So I created like this giant egg that I'm in as like part of the Scramblers launch. And I'm just trying to kind of develop that part of my art process. So I'd say like 50% of my time I'm working on virtual reality stuff and like prepping stuff in Medium. And then like the other part of the day working on physical artworks.
All right, dude, I'll go one more because
yeah,
this is a question I often have, man. How do you know like when you're done? Like, do you often hit a point where you're like, okay, this is how I want it, or do you have to like pull yourself away from some of these things sometimes because you could keep refining?
Oh man, it's the second one most times. Unfortunately, yeah. Sometimes I have a tendency to overwork certain things. I want to work on them more. So the banana is like a funny one because I did sculpt a banana at like that first VCon, and then I've had collectors like, put that banana out. We want the banana. And I was like, no, I have to finish it. So it's kind of like it's backburnered. Then I'll work on it a little bit. Because I end up having like hundreds of these sculpts, and they just, I don't know. For me, like when it makes me laugh and it feels like funny, and I can sense there's a story about it, and I kind of have a name for the character. Like those things start to stand out for me as reasons it's done. Because a bit like slower on the writing side of things and writing the storyline about them or naming them. So that's when it really, I think, okay, this one's pretty much done because, I know its name is Wild and it has a garden that where it grows TVs or something like that. So like if I start to feel that way, then I'm like, yeah, that's done for me. I know some artists will just like work straight through and they'll start an artwork and they won't stop until they're finished. They're just like, we're doing it. But for me, I'll back burner the artwork if it's just doesn't make sense to me or I don't know where it's going yet. I'm willing to just like take the slow ride with the artwork, see what happens.
Yeah, for real. Easy and Crypto would like to know, have you been doing any IRL live sculpting events lately or anything coming up?
I haven't. I always forget how interesting sculpting in virtual reality is. I'm always just like, yeah, this is just like a regular thing. So I often forget like it's been fun like sculpting here today because it's like, man, this is like really great. You should do this. So I haven't lined anything up or I really thought about it.
I had a question breaking protocol again. So when it comes to your art and your sculptures, like and minting, when do you decide to mint something? Because I know you have a ton of sculpts, but sculpts that make the minting cut. What's your kind of process there? And then like how do you mint? I think you are one of the like so early before it was ever even a thing, championing like self-sovereign minting smart contracts. Like
But
that I think is joy. Like you were forerunner of forerunners on that regard. So curious if you can walk folks through your minting process and how you think about that.
That's a really great question. Oh man. It's always changing. So okay, so if we want to go way back in my day, well, way in 2018, I talked to everybody who was starting out basically, and I was like, they're like, we'll mint your stuff for you on the blockchain. And I kind of came from the crypto gaming community, and I was like, no, just make me a contract and I'll mint it myself and I'll mint my artworks into it. I just don't know how to make a contract. And that wasn't the way things were going to go. So I was like, well, I'll just figure it out myself. And then I went and took some courses. It was like took like 2 months taking the crypto doggies course and figuring out, okay, you could build a hot potato contract. And I really like the hot potato contract for the concept of the price can never go down. It just like forces it, other than as I learned over time, like, well, the price of Ethereum adjusts and all these different things. So at that time, I figured out how to mint. I had a lot of different artworks that I had considered done, but I had never shared because I was like, I don't want to just arbitrarily throw these in the internet and just be like, here, I made these. I wanted people to be able to own the physical artwork because I started out in the physical art world and I was like, I want people to own digital art. And so at that time, it took a while and I just held all these artworks and then I was like, okay, I can build this, and I figured out how to mint them. And at that time, I minted joys back to back. I minted one in the morning, I'd one in the evening, and they would trade on a hot potato contract and they would go up in price at a certain point until people just kind of would give out and be like, all right, that's getting too high. And that's how it worked for like the first 82 joys. And then the story goes that Berserk froze JoyWorld. So Berserk froze which is one of the joys, froze the JoyWorld contract. And then the Juicy Jackalopes brought the joys back to life, unfroze them on the new contract. And the way the new contract worked is that it was an OpenSea contract, and it was just a regular ERC 721 contract. So anybody they could set the prices, you could buy it, sell it. And so I went from kind of just minting everything through Etherscan to then being able to, I can use an OpenSea's minting interface. And that made my life so much easier. But then, like, as things evolve, my kind of ambitions and what I really wanted to do at JoyWorld evolved. So I started actually building out more file types. I like experimenting with animating everything and bringing joys to life and making movies and different things about them. So that process became, and also I was putting the joys into USDZ files. This is like 2020, and that became my kind of process, was like to mint something in OpenSea, like put out a movie about it and keep connecting the storyline. But then more recently, I started getting into like trying to self-sovereign again and trying to build my own marketplace. So, I guess this was like 2 years ago, I got into just I'll build my own marketplace. But it honestly, it kind of was so complex, and like, as more experiences had mounted and like seeing different people being hacked or different things like that, it actually made me quite nervous to just build it and like control it all. And different devs I worked with had a lot of trouble being able to build it. So it just kind of became like, I don't know. I actually, like, at the time I printed out a picture of Steve Jobs, and I printed out a picture of Salvador Dali, and I'm all, who am I? Am I like this like artist who wants to express myself and build like a surreal world, or am I Steve Jobs and am I trying to like build a marketplace and technology? And I remembered like what I love about crypto and NFTs and everything is like decentralization. So it's like you don't necessarily have to build the marketplace. Somebody can build a marketplace, or like artists like Hana experimenting with, like, you could turn the contract itself into the NFT, and then there are no marketplaces. And so yeah, I that's where I kind of am with how I mint stuff, you know. You see what I'm saying? It's like it's the intersection of art and technology. It's the overlapping of everything.
Overlapping, weaving back into one another. It's a tapestry.
Yeah, so like sometimes it becomes super complicated. Sorry to cut you off, Matthew. I want to say one more thing. It became like really complicated to mint things because also I built a decentralized way of auctioning something. So you could essentially put a bid anywhere, and then every bid would end up on the JoyWorld website. And then I'd like kind of pick the winner from the highest bid, but it ended up being super complicated. So now I'm back to kind of like an exploration level of like what's the best way to auction something or like distribute it to collectors interested. So yeah, I'm experimenting still, I guess.
Yeah, I mean the experimentation never ends in this space, and it's sort of like always having that student or learning mindset open. So you keep trying new things, seeing what really works, et cetera, et cetera. I know you're still going a little bit, but if you want to get to, or let us know if you're getting towards a conclusion, then maybe you can kind of like zoom out and have the sculpt like visible on the screen so we can see that, and we can get into like a group Photoshop situation here in Hyperfile with the whole group, if that works for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Look at that.
I'm still going. This is gonna be all day. What do I do?
Well, dude,
This is great,
yeah.
man. I mean, while Joy's still going, Paradox is multi-talented. Why don't we get everyone in here in world? Joy is still sculpting live here, but we can line people up for the group shot with him still going in the background with this. I don't know. It's gonna need some sort of name or something at some point. I'll leave that to Joy. We've got a whole bunch of people up here on the bubblegum watching the live stream here. Let's throw it over to Paradox. We'll get the theme song rolling and get a nice shot here with Joy sculpting in the background.
Just a humble cameraman looking for a tiny bit of attention. It's me, Paradox. Get your asses in line and smile for the fucking camera. No one cares about Matthew and Rizzle, that's for sure. It's about me, Paradox. I'm taking over the show.
But it's the music.
It's because every planet's in retrograde. It's total chaos right now.
Just a humble cameraman looking for a tiny bit of attention. It's me, Paradox. Get your asses in line and smile for the fucking camera. No one cares about Matthew and Rizzle, that's for sure. It's about me, Paradox. I'm taking over the show.
Okie dokie. So if you've not been listening, I am Paradox. I'm the resident. Thank you. I like. It's good, right? Dumb as hell. Anyway, I'm the resident WIP videographer. This is the point of the show where we take a photo, and I also grab some video. So, if you are new to the WIP, I edit together a recap video of these events every single week, and you can catch them. They go out on Rizzle's Twitter. And Joy, that's been including a load of this footage of you sculpting. So that's awesome. Right. Okay. Let's get this going. So. I want to do 2 photo locations. Firstly, I want to get everyone gathered exactly where you are. If you could kind of look up and look towards the watermelon, please. And can we get the in the background? Can we have the stream of the sculpt? I don't know who's doing that. Is that Dragonade? I think he's doing about 4 things at once.
Yeah, that's Dragonade. Use arm number 3 and 4, please.
Beautiful. Okay, cool. Right. So if you guys look up towards the waterman, please, and then I'm going to fly around. And poor Dragonade, if you can play any kind of music for 30 seconds, that'd be great. Beautiful. I believe it's Slash Dance. To the giant face in the sky. So if everyone kind of fly that direction, that'd be great. And kind of congregate around the nose, because it's a lot bigger than you think. So if everyone gathers around the blue nose, we'll be roughly in shot, and then I'm going to get a lovely kind of zooming back shot. Okay, any stragglers? Okay, cool. See me because I'm in camera mode, but yeah, there we go. So if you guys jump around about the nose and face outwards like most people are. Beautiful. Okay, right, I'm going to start the zoom shot. Here we go. That is horrifying. peasy. All right, cool. I think that's everything from me this week. Until next week, Paradox out. Cheers, guys.
Yo, just wanted to say thanks so much again for Joy, who is still working hard over there, and remind everybody that if you didn't already take a selfie of yourself while Joy's sculpting or in front of one of Joy's things, take a selfie, tag him and the WIP on Twitter so you can enter into the raffle. Let's make sure everyone signs the guest book because Matt said something cryptic about it early on, and you will also get the Fabiano and Patrizia gift. I'm going to drop the link to that. It's also in world on the stage if you want to do it like Metaverse properly. And this is always like a tough one, right? Because Joy's like still working, and that's sort of why one of the reasons I asked the process is like, man, like these things are incredible, and you know, we could sit here for the afternoon. However, we have a time frame that we try to stick to. So Joy is awesome, y'all. If you have questions for him, please hit him up. By default, people give us permission to say that. So that's that. If anything else, I'm going to throw the mic over to Matt. Big thanks to Jake and everybody coming out today. Matt, any housekeeping before we wrap the event and kick it over to show for the Afties?
No, this was as epic as expected. Jake, Joy, thank you for making our lives, the Metaverse, as colorful as it is. Appreciate the hell out of everyone that showed up today. Shout out to everyone that got base colors. And special quick update, everyone that got a base color, Jake is going to be gifting everyone an extra link drop that y'all can use to gift to your loved one, someone special, or maybe someone that's like your arch enemy, whatever you want to do. So shout out Jake for that amazing offer. Thank y'all. And let's get into the Afties with show.
Wait, is this thing on? Yeah! Yeah!
It's time for the Afties!
Hot takes! Opinions! Thoughts! Let's go!
WIP fam. This week was epic. This week was supposed to be epic. I just learned that I don't know what the word epic means. Because I thought that epic meant that things would be crazy. I'm irate. I'm irate because I don't understand what the word epic is supposed to be. The same week as Ethereum's ICO. Wasn't it 10 years ago? I thought it was someone said that it was Ethereum. It was the same week as Ethereum's ICO, but I'm like 2014. I thought it was 2015. And then the DAO hack happened. I'm getting my timelines all screwed up because just a lot has happened. WIP fam, the Ethereum ETF finally came on Tuesday. We're going to talk about this right now. Gary, you all hate when I fucking talk about Gary Gensler. You're like, dude, I don't want to hear this shit anymore. This is the deal, man. Gary Gensler defanged the Ethereum ETF by removing staking rewards from the Ethereum ETF. We have an issue. This is the TLDR of it all. If you don't want to listen to a very detailed explanation of things that have happened over the past couple of days, by removing something that adds value, it seems like it's just like anything else. By removing staking from the Ethereum ETF, people who don't understand Ethereum think that this ETF is the same as the BTC ETF. It makes it seem like the narrative around Ethereum is weaker than the narrative that surrounds BTC. The narrative around BTC for I don't want to use any kind of ageism. It's weak. I don't want to use any kind of like terms in regards to like, you're a finance bro, you're this, you're that, Wall Streeter. These terms don't fucking mean anything. For people, it's either you understand or you don't. People who don't understand think that BTC is digital gold and Ethereum is silver, but that Ethereum isn't silver. Ethereum doesn't have any use or value whatsoever, so why would I invest in this thing? That's one narrative. The promo surrounding Ethereum trying to solve this narrative issue has been way less than the BTC ETF launch and the narratives and the promos surrounding it. There were only really two organizations that really tried to do something. BlackRock, which this video right here that I'm showing of this gentleman in the suit, they try to solve this because they know, because they're probably the ones who are receiving the most calls about what's this Ethereum thing? What is this? I don't understand it. We already have a BTC ETF. We have BTC ETF at home. I don't need In-N-Out Burger. I don't need Whataburger. I don't need Shake Shack. We have cheeseburgers at home, son. We have BTC ETF at home. What's this Ethereum thing? It sounds weird. It sounds strange. So they're probably getting the most calls from their massive client list, their email list, that they have pre-prepped and pre-prepared to just buy anything, because that's how BlackRock is so fucking valuable. You have to have people blindly just buying shit for the sake of buying shit. Then we have Bitwise, which is natively a native organization that does finance stuff and finance things. They're crypto native, and they've tried their best to explain it to their investor base. Those are the only two. So there were eight. There were 8 in total that launched, and then I'm going to show you a graph in a moment about what happened over the past 3 days. But I just want you to hear this one second.
Ethereum is the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap after Bitcoin and has key characteristics that make it distinct. While many see Bitcoin's key appeal in its scarcity, many find Ethereum's appeal in its utility. Ethereum is a highly programmable blockchain that provides infrastructure for a diverse range of assets and use cases. You can think of Ethereum as a global platform for applications. This platform enables applications referred to as smart contracts to run without a centralized intermediary. Transactions on Ethereum require a transaction fee to be paid in the network's native token, Ether. Investor interest in Ether has been expanding as more people adopt digital assets. And that's why we're introducing Ether, the iShares Ethereum Trust ETF, which provides investors convenient exposure to Ether.
Okay, y'all. We're not going to play the whole thing, obviously. I just want you to hear that. I want to ask you all who just heard that. Maybe you heard, maybe you didn't, maybe you muted me or turned my volume down or whatever. Whoever's listening, what's your opinion on this as a promo vehicle? Is this effective? Does this answer questions? Does this remove the vagueness surrounding the product? Okay, thank you. Thank you for the responses. I appreciate it. I'm going to acknowledge you all. Yeah. Okay, so assuming that BlackRock, knowing BlackRock being the largest private holder of damn near everything on the planet, their consumer base, they probably know that they needed this explainer video to be like this. They needed to be this bland or like straight to the point. They needed to make things connect and make sense to a particular base of their client list. For their client list, this is effective. For the average individual, not so much. The average individual checked out, just like you checked out after I played 48 seconds of this. The average individual is going to check out probably after 10 seconds of listening to this. This new money, the nouveau riche, this brand new money, probably doesn't understand. I mean, probably doesn't have the time in their mind. They're like, I don't have the time to listen to this shit. You know, and you can't really blame them. They're like, yeah, I got this. It's like, think of it as having miniature Gary V's that are young. I mean, age doesn't matter. But they're young in heart and spirit. I'm not gonna say in whatever. They just, in their mind, they don't have the time to pay attention. I wouldn't say that this is effective enough in order to move the needle. But at least they did something, because the others didn't do shit. Fidelity didn't do anything. 21 shares. No one. There was like less fucking promo. I want you to see. Let's go back up to this. Oh, not this. Hold on. We're gonna get there. I want you to read this headline right here. Oh no, this headline. This is the first. I have 3 headlines. Just to read the headlines, you need to read the articles. Just look on the screen, look at this headline. Wall Street still doesn't really get Ethereum. Wall Street people usually don't place bets on things they don't understand. I'm going to say they don't understand because there's been a 3-year marketing campaign from Gary Gensler, Elizabeth Warren, and many other talking heads that have intentionally obfuscated any kind of positive information, positive explainer videos, engaging explainer videos, or any kind of articles or any other paragraphs, anything that would help the cause. This has been intentional. So of course they wouldn't understand. Taking this long just to launch this ETF, we should have had this ETF May 1st. Not July 20 something. It killed the spirit of damn near everybody. No one a random week in the middle of summer. No one is fucking paying attention. It was intentional. I want you to read this headline. Ethereum ETFs are trading. Why hasn't the ETH price gone up yet? Ethereum has been sliding since spot ETFs started trading. Analysts noted that was the case for the Bitcoin ETF for a while after its spot ETFs began trading. Now we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of what's going on. Something happened. I'm gonna highlight this right here. So Grayscale. You may not understand that yet. So it's actually maybe better for me to show you this right here. So if you've been living under a rock, James Seyffart and also Eric Balchunas, these are both ETF, big financial, big Wall Street talking head is a little bit too disrespectful. I'm just gonna say like their voices, their loud voices. They're the ones that everyone has been following for scoops, a little bit of hot takes and opinions here and there in regards to ETFs being launched. They've given a lot of insight. They're actually pro crypto, which has been beneficial for themselves in addition to us. They've been very transparent too, and they try to provide as much insight as they possibly can. This chart right here is from the Bloomberg terminal. I'm breaking this down so you don't have to do any kind of thought exercises or think too much about it. So there's a total of 8. Well, technically there's 9 here, but there's 8. The reason why I say that is because Grayscale, one of the first to, actually the first to apply for an Ethereum ETF, one of the first to apply for a Bitcoin ETF, did something that has pretty much fucked us all over without us realizing. And again, I'm sorry if you don't like that I'm cursing. This is just the way things are. The way things are is no, I mean like this is the way of this shit. All right. Grayscale originally had an Ethereum futures ETF. So a future, like the TLDR between the difference between a futures ETF and spot ETF is for futures, you're betting on what you believe to be the price of a particular asset in the future. So then you can do options, all right, calls and puts, things like that. This is the meat and potatoes of the stock exchange. This is how people become millionaires overnight. With spot ETF, instead of just betting on a future price, you're betting specifically, like you may bet on a range, but you're betting specifically on what the price will be at this date, this time, this second, like what the winds will be like, what the tap water tastes like. It's more nuanced. It's very straight. It's straight on. It's like if you have the roulette wheel, you're literally betting on whether if there's lint on the color red and what color it is, what the tint of the color is, things like it's very, very specific. So there's a lot more money to be made on the bet. Anyway, so Grayscale had an Ethereum futures ETF for a year now. They converted this Ethereum ETF into a spot ETF for the launch. What we didn't know was that someone got their holiday bonus. Somebody made their name off of this. Someone managed to rope in a bunch of their client list successfully. They had a lot of successful little dinners last year. No one outside of this shit knew it, because they were so successful that they managed to accrue $9 billion in inflows that were locked up for 6 months. $9 billion for the Ethereum futures ETF that didn't impact the price at all. At all. None of us knew. We didn't know. It was so silent that this shocked people, because even James Safart, Eric Balchunas was like, wait, hold on. What the fuck is going on? We were so confused, and we didn't know what happened until after it happened. Grayscale, it was like, oh shit, man. They were all hands on deck for a couple of months. Grayscale launched a second fund, the Ethereum Mini Trust. You'll see it right here. I'm gonna zoom in a little more before we look at some numbers. So you see at the top, Grayscale Ethereum Trust, ETH. If you on Twitter, you're probably seeing ETH a lot. You're like, oh, well, are they misspelling the Ethereum ticker trader, ticker number, name, right? No. So you have the ETH, and then they created the Grayscale Ethereum Mini Trust. The difference between these two is the original one, ETH, was the futures that was flipped into a spot. You would say, okay, so we're good. You don't need to do anything with this, right? So these flows that were accrued and locked up for 6 months should be attributed to the overall growth. It should be counted, you think. Wrong. They created a second trust because they knew that people were threatening to leave, to exit. They had a client base that were unhappy. They were like, man, this isn't making me anything. The price of Ethereum is down. Why isn't this doing the same thing as BTC? I don't understand this Ethereum thing. Even though I bought in, it's not making enough for me right now in this moment. You know, the short-term satisfaction isn't really hitting. They're not getting the dopamine hits or the neurons firing or whatever you want to call it. The Grayscale Ethereum Mini Trust was their way of saying, hey, If you want to exit, you can exit now and come back at a lower fee. Why a lower fee? There's no fees. They said, hey, we're gonna slap on, I believe it was 24% fee on the Grayscale Ethereum Trust. Was it 24% or 2.4? Pardon me. It was higher than any other fee for all of these ETFs. So everyone is like, why the fuck would I bank with you even though I've trusted you for years? Why the fuck would I buy into this thing for that high of a fee when I can do Franklin, Van Eck, Bitwise, Fidelity? I can do even BlackRock. Some of these have no fee. So like, hey, so what? You can come back at a lower fee with Ethereum Mini Trust. You know, they also did this because on the exit, they're charging the fee on the exit. So when they exit, they make money off of the people that they had locked up. I believe so. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that they make money on the exit on this. Long story short, on the first day, which was Tuesday, at the end of the day, the Ethereum ETFs made they had 10.2 billion in assets. What they made in volume was what traded? Pardon me. The amount of activity that went back and forth was 1.1 billion for all three ETFs. That's 1.1 billion. And you mean to tell me that Wall Street doesn't understand? I think that somebody understands. That's incredible. The total net flows, basically what the profit was 107 million. But the problem was that there's a negative. There's an outflow of 484 million. So now if you look at this right here, there was a bunch of people who were enthusiastic on the first day. The Grayscale Trust had people unwind and exit negative 484 million. This Grayscale Trust, remember I told you 9 million they managed to accrue. If that didn't happen, there would have been a total inflow of $590 million on the first day. Massive, huge, incredible. We would have been, I believe that would have made some kind of something happen. A fart, a burp, a clearing of the throat in the crypto space. Some kind of market something. Because right now it's not looking like that. Yeah, fam, I'm conscious of the time. Second day, the Ethereum ETF market activity. There was another set of outflows from this trust. The first day was 400 something. This day was around 327. 327 million in a day. Whilst Mini Trust only took in 46. There was only 46 million that managed to come back. So that's a small percentage compared to how much you offloaded. That's not even a third. That's not even a fourth. Whoever's good at math knows the shit. That's like an eighth. That's like 1/8. Something like that. Everyone has been going crazy because they're wondering why Barry Silbert dumped 5% of the entire ETH Grayscale fund on day one. He's not dumping. It's the people that he had locked in on the futures their futures account, who haven't received anything, who haven't gotten anything. They see things happening with Bitcoin. They want to cut their losses because Ethereum is still trading flat without realizing that you are the cause for it still trading flat. Grayscale outflows on ETH is 4 to 5 times more than God, I'm trying to piece it all together. It's a lot of numbers. BlackRock's inflows on ETH are 2.5x more. BlackRock would have been kicking ass, the darling of this entire thing. Bitwise is number 2, by the way, kicking ass because they have a strong and steady hand with this. ETH, without what's happening with Grayscale, ETH would have seen 2 days in triple digits. 2 days in triple digits. Doing incredibly. Ethereum traded 852 million today. 852 in volume. The BTC ETF traded about 1.1 billion today. 75% of what the BTC ETF is doing, and yet the market is tanking. No clue why. I don't get it. I don't know. It's not this guy. I'm just gonna leave us all with this. I don't know what the catalyst is anymore, y'all. I don't know. I don't want to doom spiral like I've been doom spiraling. They're saying that, BTC's ETF had the same kind of activity where it dumped for 2 weeks and then skyrocketed. It dumped for a month, 2 months, and then it went nuts. We don't have 2 months to wait. The Bitcoin conference is happening. Donald Trump is saying all the right things to the crypto community. Whether or not he's going to uphold them or if they're true remains to be seen. I'm not here to sway anyone. I don't even know what the fuck is going on with that. I do know, but I don't know. But I do know, but I don't know. I'm my brain is fried from all this presidential shit. Are these people this important? I'm tired of, I don't give a fuck about presidents and stuff. Truth be told, I care more about the local level. Kamala Harris and her team called, of all people, Mark Cuban a few days ago. And they were asking Mark Cuban questions about crypto. Mark said, we had a positive conversation. I think that the Dems are finally coming around to understanding what crypto is all about. Then, yesterday, Kamala Harris announced that she's not attending the Bitcoin conference. So, was Mark Cuban the right person to talk to? Probably not. He probably failed at communicating clearly the importance of just showing her face, saying a word or two. But this has been reminiscent of this entire debacle, this entire misunderstanding, this vagueness that Wall Street has been suffering from, because even the US government and politicians have been suffering from the same thing that is self-inflicted, this self-ignorance, this self-peoning that they've been experiencing. Whether or not you believe that the Bitcoin conference isn't worthy of your time and attention, the crypto lobby, this brand new lobby, is a political sticking point. Right now, July 25th, 2024. This is not my opinion. This is the general opinion of everyone. It is the biggest sticking point because it is top of the list for your opponent strategically. If you are a strategist, you are being outworked. You think that, oh, you don't have to go there, but then you're going to talk about crypto and not be nuanced and have a lot of context when talking about it, and you're still going to get that vote? You are sorely mistaken. You are getting your ass kicked. Because once again, it feels like you are turning the other cheek, dismissing this crypto lobby. It also shows that you don't get it. We're going to maximize the quote-unquote black vote, the quote-unquote Latino, the Latino vote. If you didn't notice, the emphasis that I put on the vowel there is dismissive. When people say Latino, it's like a smack in the face. When people say the black vote, as if the African American community in the United States of America is a monolith. It's just dismissive. There's context here. I want to educate you all on what being dismissive feels and sounds like. Grouping people together and then with the snap of a finger assuming that communities will support you if you... It just feels very condescending. The rhetoric feels very patronizing. It feels very insulting. And you think that people will just come along for the ride. You have to fight for this. You have to fight for this. It's the same thing for crypto. You're being dismissive. Crypto is not a monolith either. Do what you will. If you don't want to speak at the Bitcoin conference, at least, you know, man, good luck. You're gonna learn this painfully. You are gonna learn this painfully. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming through to this edition of the Afties. Shout out to the entire leadership crew here at meme.com. Shout out to the presenters. Shout out to the WIP crew. You know I love each and every single one of you. WIP fam, do what you do. I'm a single issue voter. I'm not saying you go left or right. I think this bipartisan shit is a bunch of bullshit. I think that both sides are full of shit, frankly speaking. And none of them have our best interests in mind or our hearts in mind. I'm here for crypto and I'm here for you. All right. That's just what it is. It is what it is. Whatever. Any racial hangups you have, any financial hangups, any spiritual hangups you have, for everyone here, to each your own. You know, I love you all. If we deal in good faith with each other without any of those things that I just mentioned coming up in conflict with each other, I don't believe anyone here, none of us have, you know, thank God we're all a family here. That's why I can use that word, that we're a family here. But do what you will. I know you already made your choice about what you're choosing, you know, so just take whatever information you can from this, glean what you can, and just do your thing. Much love. I'll see you later.